So many big games this weekend, so little time. So let's get right into it so you can sound smarter to your friends. First up, Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid. In the last ever Madrid derby at the Vicente Calderon Stadium before Atleti moves to something shinier and newer next season, Diego Simeone and manager Iñárritu men will not only be looking to send the nostalgic fans home happy, but also to get redemption after last season's Champions League final and to not drop any more points, because if Cristiano Ronaldo and friends leave with the victory, that will put Atleti 9 points back. And that is just an insurmountable lead in La Liga. Like, nobody would be able to regain that, and they just have to be playing for second or third. So my prediction, there is no way Simeone loses this game in general, but since Real Madrid is missing two key players in the middle of midfield in Casemiro and Toni Kroos, and Alvaro Morata up top, who's been playing pretty well, while nursing Luka Modric and Sergio Ramos and Pepe and Karim Benzema to full health, there is no way Simeone's gonna lose this one, which means Atleti's gonna take it 2-1. And up next, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Before I say anything about this game, even though I desperately want to talk about how Jose Mourinho has never lost to Arsene Wenger before, or how Arsenal haven't won at Old Trafford since 2006, I'm gonna let new Previews and Predictions Correspondent Adrian from Rabona TV to break it down. Adrian?
Now we've seen the
specialist in failure,
the tie flip that shook the world, and the non-handshake that, well, didn't shake. But this matchup is more than Jose versus Arsene and his unzipperable coats. First, at United, there will be no defenders, sorta. When the formerly MIA Phil Jones is a starter, but it looks better in the attack. Rooney will probably still be recovering from his hangover, and with Zlatan suspended, Rashford will likely spearhead a much pacier and dynamic front line. That fares well for United, but at Arsenal, Ozil is slaying, Alexis, my hamstring is fine, Sanchez is slaying, and Walcott finally figured out where the back of the net is. Plus, Arsenal finally has depth. Giroud has turned into a lumbersexual super sub, and ever since meeting Justin Bieber, Oxlade-Chamberlain has started delivering more than just potential. Phew, with all that in mind, Jimmy predicts.
I feel like I need a drum roll here. Yeah, that's better. You guys ready for this? Manchester United 2, Arsenal 3! Yes, in Arsene Wenger's last season for Arsenal, maybe, he's gonna finally beat his nemesis. And now it's time for Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. I really want Dortmund to win. Not because I don't like Bayern, I think they're great. It's just because I want the Bundesliga to have some intrigue this season outside of RB Leipzig pissing everybody off with their success. And I believe that Dortmund is the only team in Germany that has the talent and depth to compete with the reigning champions over 10 months. However, Dortmund have only registered 2 shutouts in their 10 league games this season, so thanks for leaving, Mats Hummels. And one of their best players, Marco Reus, isn't at full strength thanks to that FIFA 17 cover curse. And as the manager of Dortmund, Thomas Tuchel has never beaten Bayern before. And finally, they've actually been better on the road than at home this season, so hosting this game might not mean much. Which means, despite Bayern having significant injury concerns of their own, I'm tipping them to win. Thus my prediction is Bayern 2, Dortmund 1. And next up is AC Milan versus Inter Milan. Both of these former Italian super clubs are working their hardest to be super again. But after Inter fired new manager Frank de Boer after only a couple months in charge, which seems so very AC Milan of the last few years of them, it's actually AC Milan that looks to be in a much better position to becoming super sooner. Because they have one of the best young managers in all of Italy, Vincenzo Montella, who's doing a great job of mixing together a squad of young and old, which is helping the club establish an identity again, which is something that both clubs lost over the years. So my prediction is AC Milan 2, Mauro Icardi 1. And finally, Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. Yes, one of my favorite matchups in the whole entire world. The Intercontinental Derby is almost upon us. Unfortunately, both of these clubs have been underwhelming this season, as Fener have endured one of the worst starts in their history, and Gala have lost 2 out of their last 3 and are 6 points off the top. So taking all of this info into consideration, while factoring in that Fenerbahce haven't lost at home to Galatasaray in 15 years, and because they're going to have some momentum and confidence after beating Manchester United in the Europa League, my prediction is Fenerbahce 3, Galatasaray 1. Also, before you go, here's some other things I'll be keeping my eyes on. These things. Like the current top 2 teams in the Premier League, Liverpool and Chelsea, who both go on the road to face tough challenges this weekend, so we'll see how they handle the pressure. And of course, a London derby between Tottenham, who've drawn 4 straight league games, and the US men's national team of the Premier League, West Ham, who should be playing a lot better than they are. Then I'll be spying Barcelona, because they are notorious for being bang average after international breaks, but Messi was incredible against Colombia, and Neymar was great in his 2 qualifiers for Brazil, and Suarez was being Suarez after giving the middle finger to of fans, so I'm not worried. They're going to be fine. Then, of course, I'll be watching Nice. The best squad in France hits the road to take on Saint-Etienne, a place where they won 4-1 last season, but most of their stars right now are either hurt or they're suspended, so we'll see if they have the depth to get a result. If they do, then I think they're legit title contenders. If they don't, then I think Monaco and PSG will overtake them at some point. Or how about Palmeiras? Because there are only 3 games left in the Brasileiro Serie A season, and they have a 4-point lead at the top. So if they can do the business at home this weekend against Botafogo, the title is almost theirs. And you know I'm gonna be all over Liga MX, because this is the last weekend of the Apertura season before the playoffs start, and my Zolos of Tijuana only need a draw to secure a top spot and home field advantage throughout. So vamos Solos! Si se puede! Si se puede! Si se puede! And don't forget about the Brisbane Roar! Because they are the next in line to try to take any points off the undefeated Sydney FC. A Sydney FC team, by the way, that has scored 17 goals and only given up 2 in their 6 wins this season. So come on, Roar! Make the A-League exciting again. And finally, Newcastle! My favorite club in England traveled to Leeds to face the 6th place club in the championship who happen to be very good at home. But whatever! The 200 straight owning it in the almost top flight league, so we'll see if they can win their 8th straight league game, which is something they would never do in the Premier League. So I'm kind of happy that they're in the championship because it makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Ho are the lads! Okay, that's it. That is all I got. So give me your predictions of the 5 games I broke down, the ones that I gave the scores for. And if you do better than me, I'll either praise or curse your name on Monday's show. See you tomorrow. Later.